Welcome to the Transfer Exchange. We're
We're gonna have to get the ITV analysis to explain exactly what that you just said. Then
VAR, yeah, incoherent. Let's try it again. Welcome to the Transfer Exchange show. We are live, and Euro 2024 is underway. We are 10 games in. In fact, we are on the 10th game. France are live right now. So put up your feet, enjoy this, get the game on in the background, and we're going to be involved in that as well. I want to know who your favourites are so far. Has anyone surprised you? We've seen Scotland get demolished after me and Garth came up with a prediction that was like a movie. It ended with Kai Havertz scoring the winner, Steve running onto the pitch, high-fiving Kai Havertz on the halfway line out of nowhere. And Germany getting a tight win. But in the end, Scotland, I'm sorry to say, you had your kilts pulled down, your pants pulled down, all of the above. It was bad. It was bad. England, the expectations of England went from here and took a massive nosedive. Our expectations every single time are always up here, and we're always bitterly disappointed. But why? Why are we so disappointed? England got the 3 points that mattered. We're going to be discussing that, and we're going to be discussing anyone that has surprised you so far. Because you should be surprised because, well, Ukraine got demolished by Romania today, a team that really do struggle to score. Put 3 on the board for Romania. It was actually a very, very decent game. I'm joined by Garth Lewis and Steve K. How you doing, guys?
Yeah, good evening. Good evening, everybody.
All right. Yeah, Garth, enjoying the tournament so far?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Been some decent games so far. Like I was just saying, I think even though it was 1-1 draw, Denmark, Slovenia, my favourite game that I've seen thus far. So, yeah, it's good to get that much football in. I think that most of the teams have shown up, apart from Scotland so far, who get battered everywhere they go. The song holds true.
Like a Mars bar, like a Scottish Mars bar, get battered everywhere you go.
Everywhere they go. So, no, I've enjoyed it, mate. I've enjoyed it.
And Steve, you enjoying the tournament so far?
Yeah, really enjoying it. I think most games that I've watched, I've sort of haven't turned off halfway through or gone out to make cups of tea during the match because it's boring. They've been exciting. They've been back and forth. You've really not really know, apart from the obvious, like we just spoke about, and possibly Spain, maybe. They've been quite close matches. Impressed by some players that I've been looking forward to seeing what they was about. I didn't know too much about. Some of them impressed, some didn't. Some that were mentioned with my own club that I was like, oh yeah, he wouldn't be bad, and then others I was like, maybe we shouldn't sign him. But overall, mate, been enjoying it.
All right. Let's get to it. Garth, as we said earlier at the start, a little bit of tongue in cheek, but the Scotland versus France opener, Scotland versus Germany opener, versus Germany opener. We expected it to be quite tight and very early on. Possibly one of the worst challenges you'll see in international football this year. Scotland player getting sent off. What was he thinking, first of all? And in the end, Scotland absolutely demolished. But that send off really weren't going to make too much of a difference, but it was pretty much over before it started with that one.
Yeah, the sending off was a 3-0, wasn't it, that penalty? That was the 3-0, that penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were 2-0. Yeah, listen, I just thought Scotland would do a little bit more. Like, we were living in a fantasy land, we were living in a dreamland, obviously. Like, I just wanted to see him do a little bit more. That is one of the worst performances you're going to see in national competition, I think. They had nothing. Like, I don't really even want to talk too deeply about it because otherwise I'm just going to be absolutely slating this team 1-11. That challenge was ridiculous. That's a League Two challenge. That's not like how you playing international football with that. Scotland must be fearing the worst because you can't play like that and get anything out of this. Like, they didn't even have a shot on goal, did they? Didn't even have a shot on goal. Literally, they scored because Rudy got an own goal. They had 2 touches in the box all game. It was a horrific performance. And I said on the last show, didn't I, that you just want to be there. Well, you don't if they're the results you're going to get. You don't. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know how you two boys see it, but for me, that was an embarrassment of a performance from Scotland. I don't think Germany even played that spectacularly. So, yeah, that's where I sit with it. Scotland, really bad. Really, really bad.
Steve, Scarf has ripped Scotland apart. If you were to tackle anything that's left off them now.
Yeah, I mean, the same as probably everyone else. I mean, I didn't expect Scotland to win the game, that's for sure. But I certainly expected them, to put up a big fight. We've had all this like big build up, haven't we? From Scotland fans. And look, there's nothing wrong with that. They've taken out a load of fans out there, and they look like enjoying themselves. They created a great atmosphere in the stadium. Before that, they sung their anthem, full strength, before the game, and you thought, something could happen. And then literally after about a couple minutes, they won 1-0 down, and it was like, all that sort of build up, and now look where you are. And it was just a very poor performance. I mean, even when they got their goal back, you thought, well, hold on a minute. And then it was like a few minutes later, they went up the other end and scored another one, didn't they, Germany? It was like, I think they could have scored as many as they liked, and they were swapping and changing, eventually like taking off. I mean, the players that, I always thought Germany had a strong squad, but, when they started taking players off and bringing on substitutes and bringing on like Sane and taking players like that, it was... it was literally men against boys. But Germany were class at the end of the day. I mean, it's not, they were poor, Scotland, but Germany, Wirtz and Sayala, I mean, Havertz, Kroos, unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. The way they moved that ball around, the way they interchanged, it was really enjoyable to watch, and I could have watched it all day, even though there was no doubt it was going to win the game. I could have sat there and just watched them play football for like 90 minutes, and then another 90 minutes. It was just fantastic to watch.
Yeah. Steve touched upon a couple of players, standout players there. Jamal Musiala, Garth. England all the way up until what? The under 21s, and they're gone. Just slipped through the fingers. Now representing Germany, Bayern Munich, and what a player he is.
Oh.
Yeah, he's amazing. This is the thing, I didn't know much. Was he this good as a youth player? I don't know if you knew about him, because I'd heard his name, but I didn't realise he was this spectacular. It's only since he's become German, moved to Germany, that I know about him. To be fair,
he became German and automatically just became a good player. No, he was good. He was good, very, very good. He was at Chelsea, wasn't he? And I think they gave him a chance, like not a chance. I think they gave him like a pre-season, but they knew he was going. He was a very well-renowned player. It's just a case of, I think you've got Phil Foden, you've got Bellingham, you've got other players in that position, and Yogi Löw sold him it that basically you'll be the main man for Germany in this position if you come and represent us, and he didn't. And that's what he's doing now.
Good decision for him then. The fair play to him, smart head on his shoulder. Where's he, 20? Yeah, they've got, with him and Wirtz, they've got two of the best young players in the world, haven't they? Pure and simple. So fair play to him. Fair play for getting him.
It could be anything. It could be anything. This kid, we talk about like players of the past and legends of the game. Do you know what I mean? But I don't think we talk about enough about players that are in our own era. And this guy Musiala. I mean, we'd heard about him. We've seen the highlights. We've seen clips. I mean, first sort of real 90-minute games I watched him was in the Champions League this season, and obviously again the other night. And Jesus, do you know what I mean? This kid,
just glides around the pitch, doesn't he?
It's unbelievable. Yeah, quality.
Really good player. And another player that looked good when he came on was Fulkrug, the centre forward. Just a proper classic striker, big, strong, powerful. Powers it into the net when he comes on. Made a big difference there. So Germany looked like they've got some real good options on and off the bench, and definitely a team to look out for in this tournament. Garth, you was quite impressed with the was it Hungary and Switzerland game?
No, sorry, it was the Denmark Slovenia
Oh, sorry,
game. I was quite
Denmark Slovenia
Yeah.
game. Yeah, what
It was
was
just
it in question?
it was just one all, but it was just end-to-end football. It was just
Yeah.
like two very evenly matched teams going at it for 90 minutes. It was just an enjoy.
Mm.
It wasn't like it was anything like out of this world, but it was just a really entertaining game of football. So yeah, I mean, I couldn't even give you like standout players per se. It was just great performance from the 22 men that were on the pitch at that time. You know what I mean? It was just good tournament football, good to see. Even
Good wholesome tournament football.
Yeah, good wholesome football. That's what I want. Honest football. That's what I want to see.
Certainly wouldn't expect you to pronounce any of those names as well, because we tried that the other day, and you saw how I opened the show. So
yeah,
it was a brilliant finish from Ericsson, wasn't it, Garth? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, lovely.
I mean, because what he went through last season, we all know what that was, and I mean, what a story. You know, 2 years on, or whatever it is.
1,100 days exactly 1,100 days since he died on the pitch to him scoring that goal.
I mean, I mean, that says it all, doesn't it? I mean, and what a goal, and people talk about the goal, but what a goal. Do you know what I mean? The way he just chested that down, and that was the Ericsson of old, wasn't it? You know, that was the Ericsson in the first season at Man United, and it was great to see. And I think that was when Šeško played as well, wasn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, Šeško looked all right.
He looked quality and all.
I was going to say we get on to some of the players that we've been speaking about in the transfer, Steve. But Benjamin Šeško, like you said, there looks still a little bit raw, but he's got that instinct that I like. I like a player who can, if he sees the goal opportunity, he tries to take it. Do you know what I mean? And he's still got some good seconds on it, good power. It looks good. So yeah, I think some people could be excited about this one and definitely keep an eye on him for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, definitely, mate. 100%. I mean, I was obviously keen to, see what he was all about. I didn't see much of him. We'd all heard, this, that, and the other about him. So, I had quite a couple of eyes on him through the match. And he was everything that people have been saying. I mean, he was big, he was strong, as you say, a little bit raw. But he was someone that they had to keep an eye on just continuously for 90 minutes. And he come across as one of these players who. Some centre forwards just stand still, or they stand in some same place. I.e., someone like, not coating him off or anything because he scores a lot of goals. Like Lukaku, for instance, he'll stay in that position and you won't move. But Šeško, all over the place, and if he sees that goal, he's going to take a crack, and he's got a crack on him, hasn't he? So he's definitely one for the future to keep an eye on, definitely.
Yeah. Another player who's not had the best of times since his I think it was the Euros that he sort of announced his name was Brian Bolo, Swiss striker. He's been out through injury, but again came into the game and made an immediate impact in that one for Switzerland. And it's good to see those sorts of stories where players injured, really struggles, but then comes back into these tournaments, sort of announces himself again, Garth?
Yeah, I read you only ever see Mbolo play when Switzerland are playing in these tournaments.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Where is he? Is it Stuttgart? Is he at Stuttgart?
Monaco. He's
yeah.
He's been in Germany a long time. Mönchengladbach, Schalke, but I don't. You see him when maybe one of your teams play him in the Europa League or the Champions League or something. But then every time I see him in the tournaments, he looks mustard. He really does.
Yeah, he does.
He's got a lovely goal. Mustard's a little too strong.
Pacey, powerful, still a bit raw. 4 years on, but a good player. Player can work on.
I mean, he's 27 though. He's 27 in Bolo, which isn't surprising to me. But one of them players that I think he's a victim of. What would be his price tag, because Monaco would look for 60, 70 mil for him. He ain't worth that, so he'll never get that big move, no matter how well he does, if you know what I mean. But quality talent, and the Swiss seem to pull out a couple of the streets will never forget ballers, don't they? It was Shaqiri. What was the left back they used to have? Was it Rodriguez? The left back was always, you know what I mean? Just here and there. So fair play. That was. Yeah, was that 3-0? Was that in the end? Or,
what was 3-1?
3-1.
Yeah. So that lovely goal at the end to calm it all down. And I don't think Hungary. I had that Kurzek as one of the players to look out for. Don't worry about him now because they ain't going nowhere in this tournament. He's got 2 games left and he's going home.
I was going to ask.
It's a shame.
Hungary, a little bit of a disappointment in that game. Szoboszlai, some players that thought the country might be one of them teams who might be able to cause some upsets, like they did well in the Euros prior when Portugal won it, but really poor the other day.
Yeah, I mean, especially the first half, they was absolutely awful, wasn't they? I mean, they just couldn't get going. I mean, Szoboszlai, I think he was his captain in his country for the first time. So whether that played on his head in the first half because he was literally non-existent. They just couldn't get him in the game. He was a lot better in the second half. And the guy like Garth just mentioned, Kursic, and again, someone I was looking forward to seeing. And to be fair, he didn't have a bad game. He was all right. He played quite well, but it's like Garth said, he's going to be probably on his way home, unless they can pull something like like a miracle out the bag. But yeah, Szoboszlai disappointing. Yeah, good cross for the goal, I suppose. He got the assist, which was decent, but he'll be disappointed with his performance. But Switzerland, dark horses. Who knows, mate? I don't know. They were quality, and they're all they're quality all through the tournament. And 3-1 probably maybe even flattered Hungary a little bit. We have to big up Granit Xhaka. He was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was really good.
Absolutely unbelievable. Man of the match performance. I don't know how many times I say that on this show, man of the match, but he does.
Too much credit for a season.
He pulls out. He pulls
too much.
He pulls out man of the match performances all the time, and he got man of the match, didn't he, for the game? And and Hungary just give up in the end, and then they brought on that guy, that Hungarian geezer, from looked like he was ready for the Highland Games, playing a football match. It was.
That was.
This can't be true. I'm reading here that Kirkhead's got man of the match on the BBC website. It's saying that Kirkhead's. That cannot be true. There's no way he should have. I'm just like
the Euros. The Euro 24 thing. He was given like the actual. Whatever he got crazy, I think he was plain to see he was man of the match.
Fabian Schär had a great game as well. Weirdly, he is quality. But I mean, he was funny, that Hungarian. I mean, they were saying that they was meant to bring someone else on before him, but he ate them.
Yeah, well, I think he's applying his trade in Japan. He's in the K League or something like that. Big lump of a man. Looks like he will
old school. Old school player that was, mate.
Yeah,
when you hit a lump of a player.
He was. Switzerland were dangerous. Switzerland, I'm looking forward to watching again because they were good.
Quick question for you, then. Can you see him doing a Wales semi-finals out of nowhere?
I don't know about semi-finals, but I can see Switzerland doing like what you've just said there. Could get far. Like, as you said, they've got plenty of streets will never forget players. Granit Xhaka's come off of an excellent season where his team's won the league and all the fanfare around that as well. So people are on a high in this team, and especially after that first game, they'd be looking to take on anyone. I don't think that like these tournament footballs. I think it's all about how you're feeling at the time, and if you've got a good bond and you've got a good team, sort of morale around it. We've seen with Wales, you can go as far as that can take you. Do you know what I mean? And it's sort of just about the extra bit of quality in those games that will take you a little bit further. Another team I think they've been underestimated before this tournament was Spain. No one really spoke about what Spain were going to do. A lot of talk about not having anyone up front. That me was massively guilty. And Morata reminded everyone what he's about. That he's scoring goals and he's I think, is he Spain's second all-time top goal scorer or something like that?
He's got to be up there, ain't he?
Yeah. Morata showing everyone he's not a man to be forgotten, Garth?
Yeah, I'll tell you, this was my big error before the game. Sitting here looking with my father-in-law, looking like I know what I'm talking about football. Going, 16-year-old having your Mel in the team. Not sure about that from the start. You know what I mean? Has he got it?
Hanson Mark II over here.
Has he got it? I don't know. There's a lot of pressure. Boom. Absolute performance. But no, Morata. Listen, Morata's one of them strikers, isn't it? He had a bad. It was Chelsea, not Liverpool. It was Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Yeah, it weren't great, and so everyone, because we only watch Premier League, a lot of us, we think that that's Morata. When in reality, a quality cultured striker is Alvaro Morata, and he's done the business for many a year. So yeah, I had Spain and Italy. I said they weren't going to do much. We'll get on to Italy in a minute, but yeah, again, it's Spain, tournament football. They know what they're doing. They've got a young team, but they've got some talent in there. You know, Pedri, Xavi, obviously Yamal, but it's supplemented with their old guard, Carvalho. You know, Carvalho.
He was.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So they've got a real strong squad actually. But again, are they like England? Do injuries take it out of them? You know what I mean, through the tournament. But no, decent. Fair play to them. Fair play to them. Again, Croatia, not spectacular though.
Yeah, I thought Croatia. I thought were really disappointing. I didn't think it was just not unspectacular. I thought just disappointing. Maybe it's because I had a little bit more hopes because I know that Modric is getting on, but he was rested quite a bit this season. Thought he might have a bit more in his legs. I didn't really see much from him. There was just nothing. I don't see Croatia doing anything in this tournament after that first game.
No.
I just think they're bow out, and I don't see them even getting any of that third place lucky sort of wild card or whatever it is. Yeah. Steve Morata, 26 goal contributions in 48 games this season. 36 goals in 74 caps for Spain. Should we really be surprised that he's coming to this tournament and started, got him flying as a start?
No, not at all. I mean, he is a quality. It seems like he's been around for ages. I'm not too sure what age he is now, but
31.
30, is he 31? I mean, yeah. I mean, he's 31 years old. He's still leading the line for Spain and putting the ball in the back of the net, and like he did when he was like in his 20s. So yeah, I mean, you know, I think that Spain will go. It'd be interesting to see how far Spain go when they start to play maybe a better side. Because like you said, I mean, Croatia were poor, but they were very good. I mean, Garth's more or less said everything there. I thought Pedri was outstanding. Some of the balls that he was playing, through the channels to Morata and Nico Williams. I was interested in to see how good he was, because a lot of people were looking at him, in this window. So he was all right. He didn't have a bad game. He didn't have a good game. He was a little bit, he was on the periphery of everything, So I can't say he was bad, but I was disappointed because I wanted to see something special come from Nico Williams, and it more came from the other side. But this 16 years old, I mean, geez, it's unbelievable. It's 16 years old. I mean, what a career he's got. I mean, what was we doing at 16 years old?
This is not past the watershed, ladies and gentlemen. So I'll keep that out of this one.
I'm not legally allowed to say, Steve. Those files are sealed under court order, mate. So. Yeah.
I think I was playing in a men's team who were teaching me how to drink pints. I think at 16. But I mean, unbelievable. I'm interested to see. They got the players, they got the names. They've got the experience there. I don't know who they got up. They're coming up with next, but. Yeah, they've definitely gone up in my estimation.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
After watching that game, because it's like I said, there was a couple of players who were on the periphery, never really got going. But I mean, and again, another team, the players they can bring on, they can bring on players like Zubamendi and for Rodri. Do you know what I mean? He goes off, Zubamendi comes on. It's just absolutely mental. So, yeah.
Even their real second string players like Marino are quality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd take him at a top Premier League, so like the top wouldn't, but Man United would take him right now. You know what I mean? As a quality player. So yeah, good. Yeah, fair play to him.
Yeah, no, definitely a team to watch. And tournament football, it's sort of it breeds the players that will come up again and do the business. And Barella. Before the tournament, people were talking about Barella has really turned it on. For Inter recently, it's been a bit inconsistent, blah, blah, blah. Barella shows exactly why every time he plays in a tournament, people come out that tournament talking about, I'd love to have Barella in my team. Quality performance from him. I think man of the match, I'd say. Really, really bad start for Italy. 26 seconds, conceded a record quickest goal in European Championship history, but they turned it around in the end, Garth, winning 2-1.
Yeah, another one of those. Like that was a proper Italian performance after they put the second goal in as well.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? Yeah. Italy's just one of them teams, ain't they? Like they're what's the saying? They're better than the sum of their parts. They are, you know, like each individual player may not, like you're saying about Brella, may not stand out to you as an individual. You put them together though, you know, like, and they just know what to do. They've got solid basics. They've got solid fundamentals. They didn't panic when going 1-0 down. You know what I mean? What was it? By the 15 minutes, they were 2-1 up, weren't they? It wasn't long before they were back. So I said both. I had Italy down as coming in as a lucky loser, if you remember, but that's got to change immediately now after that Croatia performance. So Italy and Spain fighting it out for top spot. It's comes down to who wins out of that game. But yeah, Italy again. This is the thing when we're talking about England. This is why you can never sit here and say England are favourites, because you've got quality teams everywhere in this competition. So, but fair play. Yeah, but again, there's going to be a lot of fair plays for me tonight. Fair play to Italy.
Fair play. You're wrong. Fair play.
Get that job done. They got the job done. You know what I mean? And they done it with a bit of style and all in the end.
Yeah, they did. They definitely did. Italy. Some of the Italy players impressed you, Steve? Anyone particular?
Yeah, I mean, you've already said. I mean, Italy did what Italy do, didn't they? Main what Garth said. You know, that was sort of what the overriding sort of thought that come out after the game. You know, when it finished, it was like, that's Italy, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Nothing spectacular. They go down, they come back, they go in front, and then they just shut up shop and they're saying, like, come and beat us. And 9 times out of 10, they don't. But Barella obviously stood out. I thought the centre back was absolutely excellent. Calaflori. I thought he was outstanding, which sort of told you a little bit about that the Albanians put up a good show, because you know he got in a lot of headers, a lot of tackles, and you know he got a lot of plaudits. You know, after the game, Pellegrini's was difficult to handle. He's your typical old-fashioned sort of forward, wasn't he? You know, he was sort of pushing and getting in the box, and you know, and Scamacca, he was pretty quiet.
Scamacca was. I don't remember him in that game now. See, now you say that, mate.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what I was looking forward to, and at times he was brilliant on the ball, was Chiesa. I mean, I mean, you didn't have
another player who people were sort of saying has not been in good form. He hasn't sort of risen to the levels that they expected since the last tournament he was in. But as you're saying there, he looked really good, didn't he?
Yeah, there was moments, Kears. Do you know what I mean? There was moments in the game when he got the ball and it was like, right, you set up and think, we know what the old Trazer was before the injury, before last season. What are you going to do? And there was times when they just couldn't live with him. You know, they couldn't. He was still jinking and moving out one side, and he was gone. And he showed he's still got a lot to offer. You know, in those boots of his. I mean, again, don't know how old he seems like he's been around for ages. But
I don't think he's 30 yet. I don't. It feels like he's been around forever, don't it?
I don't know. 28 maybe, something.
Yeah, something like I'd go with. I'd put money on being around there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talk in the transfer window about him moving on for
26.
Fees. Is he 26?
Yeah,
that's mental. They're talking about 30 millions for him. And
I was going to say, it's going to spark some interest again after this tournament, because the people know his quality. People know what he can do. It's just consistency. But if you've got a player, he's very much a winger, but he's got a little bit more of that inside forward to him. He's very direct and score a goal. So he could be dangerous for a few things.
He cuts inside. He can cut inside and go on his left foot. He can cut in on his he can cut him on his left foot, go outside on his right foot. He can go round. Very Saka-like, if you think about it. If you put the two and 30 million. I mean, I'm sure Garth wouldn't mind some of that. Do you know, 30 million of some of Chiesa's.
Just another winger, though. Is the problem.
Yeah, it's the one position. I don't say it's just the one position. Yeah. Like I also think that he isn't. He played well the other day, but he's far from the best. This is what I was about to say. Sorry to cut you off, Steve. He's far from the best Chiesa, and that's why he is at 30 mil at the moment. Like if you sign him 30 mil, he turns into the best version of Chiesa. You've had an absolute bargain of a transfer, bargain, mate.
Probably based on last season that fee, because I don't think he wants to be at Juventus, to be fair. I've got a funny feeling he just don't want to be there anymore. But there you go.
Do you think it's someone worth taking a punt on him, Garth, for 30 mil to see if he can get 26. 26.
Yeah, that's an absolute, like, in today's market, 30 mil is absolutely nothing. That's a no lose situation in my mind. He comes in, doesn't do anything. You've lost 30 mil. You could probably sell him for 15, 20, 2 years down the line. Yeah. And if he does turn into the player, like I say, like, Prime Chiesa is an absolutely phenomenal player.
Yeah.
If you're talking about that for 30 mil, yeah, the drop of a hat, I'd take him at Man United for the 30, even though that's our entire transfer budget. But yeah, it's just, someone, who could do with him? A Newcastle, a Villa, one of those pushing for the Champions League, even a
Liverpool.
Spurs.
Do you think Liverpool's bit too
Yeah.
much?
No,
So,
I think
maybe a squad player at Liverpool. Maybe a squad player at Liverpool. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't walk in and command a spot at Liverpool.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No. Anyway, even like, listen, you've got enough players now. But even Arsenal, if you were thinking of selling a Trossard this summer for 50 mil to make some money on him, you know what I mean? It's a gamble. You've got the players that he can come in and be a second string player for you. I don't know if he would, but he's a quality player. So 30 mil, someone, if they give him 30 mil, someone is getting an absolute bargain of a player.
Yeah,
I think.
I agree. A man who came in to save the day for Man United, and he actually ended up saving the day for the Netherlands. Wout Weghorst. Very familiar name to you, Carl.
Moat through the TV, bruv. How dare he do that? And the grandest stage of them all. He couldn't even trap a ball at Man United.
9 minutes of magic. Wout Weghorst scores the winner for the Netherlands. Happy for him, Garth?
I was actually, mate. All jokes aside, because he suffered a lot of abuse from Man United fans because he was what he is. You know what I mean? He's a big, lumbering, target man forward. He's not going to score loads and loads of goals. Yeah, he underperformed for Man United, but we weren't that great anyway. But no, you can see the joy in his face. It must be a magic moment for a player, because Netherlands were not at the races really. They were not on top form. So yeah, was it like 87th or was it like a little earlier than that? Whenever it was, winner. Take you to get them 3 points. The 83rd, most important. So yeah, he must be absolutely ecstatic, and I'm sure he's went to bed with an absolute giant grin on his face. Fair play to him. As I said, lots of fair plays coming from me.
Fair play.
Fair play.
A lot of people would have had Netherlands as the dark horse. Do you think they would have maybe scratched that one off after that game's not quite hitting the heights that people expected?
Yeah, I did. I had them a little bit of a dark horse, but I was disappointed in them. I don't know about how you two guys felt. I was
exactly the same.
Yeah, I was disappointed in what I saw. I know they're missing a couple of big players like De Jong and Koopmeiners in the midfield there, and it really showed. It really showed. And and looking at the rest of the team, I thought Van Dijk, I thought he was poor. I thought he struggled at times. I thought his passing was off. He looks a little bit all over the place at times. Depay, do you know what I mean? A bit underwhelming. Their forward line, and then who was it? Now you have to remind me who they played. Now, what was the name? Who did they play?
Poland.
Yes, Poland.
And they were missing Lewandowski as well.
They was missing Lewandowski. Poland played well. I thought Poland played really well. I think the second half, I thought they was the better side. I thought they was by far the better side, and they could have easily come out without a draw. And for me, they should have had the draw. They deserved the draw. I mean, big up to Weghorst coming on and getting the goal, and the manager making the substitution. No, big up to that. He did that. But for me, Poland, they look dangerous at times. There was a few players that really I'd never heard of, but there was Zielinski. I thought was absolutely quality for them. Some of the names have gone out my head for the minute, but
just put ski on the end of any name you want, Steve.
Let's not pretend. You know exactly who they are, Steve, but you cannot pronounce their name live.
I can't. But they looked.
Your boy done all right.
They looked. Who's that?
Killior.
Jacob Killior. Oh, actually, Jacob Killior done really well. He played a little bit differently for Arsenal. He was like he was getting in the box. I mean, he does go forward for Arsenal. He does go forward. But he was everywhere, wasn't he? I mean, he got in some good blocks.
Yeah, I thought he was decent.
Yeah, he did. Thanks for reminding me, Garth, for that one.
Cheers,
Keep me
Garth.
the same, Steve. You know,
He did.
Tottenham fans are switching off as we speak.
Yeah,
Let's
but
go
he
to
did.
an Arsenal rant.
But no, wasn't impressed with Holland, and I don't think they're going to last on playing like that.
Yeah.
It looks a lot better when Frincom come on. I don't know why he didn't start. He looked dangerous. Even as a winger, looked like more of a winger than a.
He is a winger.
That's what I've
been saying for 2 years. He is a winger.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to go far, Holland. To be fair, because I thought Poland. I hope Poland go. I've got a little reason why I want Poland to go.
You've got them in the sweepstakes again.
Well, no, I thought a little bit of a family reason, it's
going to be difficult for them now because you can't see them getting a result against France. So that'll be 2 defeats in the bag, and then to be fair, Austria are doing really well against France at the moment. So yeah, that's why I feel bad for Poland, because that should have been a point, and that could have really changed the outlook of their tournament.
I think if Lewandowski would have played and he was at his best, they would have won that.
That's a good shout.
Yeah, good shout. On to the game which has left many people disappointed in the tournament so far. Many things wrong, but the most important thing right, Garth. England got the 1-0 victory, got 3 points on the board, but a lot of fans left disappointed and underwhelmed by the performance.
Yeah, I'm one of those fans. I think it's because we've seen this before. But first and foremost, because England fans must sound right brash at the moment. You know what I mean? We got the win, we got 3 points, and it's a massive but. That performance was, I believe you used the word today, uninspiring. It was typical Southgate football. We got 1-0 up, and then we just cannot see out a game, period. He doesn't make attacking substitutions. Even the winger he brought on in Bowen is the most defensive, battling, you know what I mean? Like battling midfield winger that we've got. It's like he's scared to go for the win, and we've seen this before. Last tournament, 1-0 up against France, lose 2-1 in the quarters. Tournament before that, 1-0 up against Italy, lose 2-1. Tournament before that, 1-0 up against Croatia in the semis, lose. And that's the problem. Like, just a couple of people in our group that we talked to were saying, "Oh, why are you being so harsh on it?" It's like, because I've seen it before, man. Like, I can't get excited for England with that win. I can't. Again, I believe you said it, Kid. Like, you know what I mean? If Denmark and Slovenia see that game, they're going to be like, "Oh, England, we can take this to them." You know what I mean? We're very lucky that Serbia are a bad team, because they could have scored a couple of goals. So, yeah, whilst the most important thing is the win, I didn't see anything in that game to suggest that we're going to grow into anything more than what we saw in that game this tournament.
Steve, people will say that it's about growing into the tournament, but as Garth alluded to there, do you see that this team could have much growth off of the way that they played and the way they held themselves?
Sorry, just before you answer that, a dirty, disgraceful own goal for France. Austria have just gone 1-0 down. He must be feeling horrifically bad there. Mbappe crossing it in. Yeah, it's just, I don't even know what he's thinking. It's just bounced off the side of his head, gone into the bottom corner.
Yeah. Mbappe will probably get the Ballon d'Or now for doing that. That's what we'll hear about this for the next 3 months now. Yeah, Mbappe's crossed the. With the geezer putting his own goal.
Austria don't deserve this. They've been from what I've been goal as well. Yeah, from what I've been looking at Alkmaar, they've been putting in a solid performance against France. So yeah, they really don't deserve that. But sorry to cut you off there, Steve. Sorry.
No, that's all right. We've got to keep it live, Garth. When it comes to people watching, they want to hear, just in case they've missed it, and they want to go and check. So it's all good. It's all good. No, so Steve, as I was saying there, anything that you feel that England could build up from, it's maybe had the life sucked out of people. That game. Yeah,
I mean, it's like Garth's already said. I mean, it was just typical Southgate, wasn't it? I mean, it was just we scored the goal, and then we sat back and just we just didn't look like we wanted to go forward or do anything. And it was just like, for me, going forward. We you think about, just players have got to play better. Southgate's got to be a little bit more forward thinking. Have we got the players? I feel we've got the players, but I was watching the game, but the movement of our players were awful. Look, me and you watch Arsenal every week, and we watch the movement of where our players go and where they move around. They don't move. I was watching England, and it was like, this is so boring to watch. Foden's out on the left. He shouldn't. For me, he shouldn't be out on the left. I don't think he should be playing out on the left. He's hugging the touchline. For Man City, he's allowed to come into the centre, go over to the left or move around. It was like for the majority of the game, he's stuck up there. Kane was just standing up there as a centre forward, and I think that Foden decision sort of messed up the whole sort of the way we was playing.
The vibe of the playing.
Yeah,
that's why I said, listen, both of us don't think Rashford should have gone, but if that's the tactic you're going with, then the best Englishman to play that role is Marcus Rashford or
an outlet.
Anthony Gordon. Yeah,
an
or
outlet.
Anthony Gordon. Yeah,
the decision to play Phil Foden on the left for me is it didn't make sense before.
No.
There was all talk of Phil Foden playing on that left. It didn't make sense, and you can see why. He plays on the left for Man City. He plays in a system, a Pep Guardiola system, which works for Phil Foden. Everything for Man City, everywhere a player is, they're meant to be. They move there, they go there. The ball moves over there, they shift over. That's not England. The same with Harry Kane. For Tottenham, he comes into England, he tries to play like he did for Tottenham. But for Bayern Munich, he's playing more centre forward. Yes, he drops in for Bayern Munich, but nowhere near as much as he did for Tottenham or he does for England, because he has to be disciplined because for Bayern Munich, they need an outlet. For England, we need an outlet. You can't be dropping into midfield and then you look up front and you've got your two wingers hugging the touchline. It's crazy. Bukayo Saka was actually in form the other day and he didn't have one shot on goal. Like, mine is blown, the fact that Phil Foden or Saka both didn't have a shot on goal the whole game. And those two are hitting 3 or 4 shots on goal per game as standard for their teams. Wherever they're playing, wherever Phil Foden's playing on the AM centre, left wing, it doesn't matter. He pops off shots. He gets in and around the area, gets in the area at the right time. There's just something for England. It was just not happening. I know people will point at Phil Foden, but he didn't get the best out. Southgate didn't get the best out of Saka in that game as well. It was poor. It was poor. And I know we sound, as Garth saying, we sound like brats, but it's because you can almost see what's going to happen. A quarter-final depends who we get. And people were saying semi-finals will go out to France. I'm worried about who we get in the next round or the quarters, let alone the semi-final, because I just can't see us taking on anyone that's got anything about themselves.
If you're going to play Phil Foden, right, on that left, if that's your place where you've decided before you flew out to Germany that he's one of your left-sided players, then for me you don't play him if you're playing Trent Alexander, Rice, and Bellingham in the middle. It makes absolute no sense whatsoever. Right, that left-hand side was just non-existent. Right, there was no pace going down. You had 33-year-old Kieran Trippier and Foden hugging the touchline. He's got the skills. He's got the ability with his feet, with his cuts inside. He wasn't cuts inside, therefore, but he hasn't got the pace to run down the lines, get crosses in like a Gordon can or a Rashford can. Right, it just didn't make any sense. The only thing I can think that he must have told him to stay there, but I don't get it because it just like if you're a defender and you're looking at that, a defender's right hand side, for instance, right? You're laughing. You're seeing Trippier, you're seeing Foden. You're like,
it's easy. It's all in front of them.
It is. It's all in front. It's all in front of them. If Foden's coming into the middle, then what you're asking is. You're right. That's right. Players to come in with him, and then what you do there, then you've got space out on the left hand side, and then you've got someone bombing in on the left hand side behind him, hiding like a Trippier. But he doesn't get forward enough. Trippier, he doesn't get forward because if he comes forward and we get caught out, our defense is not that good, and we get caught out. If they break, so it's like, although
sorry, I said the problem with Trippier, Steve, is he hasn't got the left foot to play it down the line on the outside of Foden either. So all the balls are coming on the right hand side, and it's just this is what I mean about Saka. It's poor decisions that seem to cost us all the time. But again, it's crazy.
It must be because of Bellingham. It must be because of Bellingham. It must be because Bellingham's playing in the 8, right? Or no, Bellingham was in the 10. 10, wasn't he? Yeah, Bellingham was in the 10, and obviously they think he thinks that's his best position. So they'll play him in there, which we actually spoke about last week, didn't we? We said that I think I said that maybe they could play Bellingham in the 10. But although he scored the goal, I don't think it worked because the rest of it was all disjointed. I know he got the goal, but it didn't work. Against the better teams, that won't work.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Gary Neville said that Phil Foden on the left is not a Scholes situation. I completely disagree. It's exactly.
Did he really say that?
It's exactly a Scholes situation.
Exactly the same.
It's exactly the same. You've got you don't want to put him in the middle for some reason, and because he's doing so well, you feel you have to put him in the team, so you just put him on the left. And it's an afterthought. There's no tactics to it. There's no real fault to Phil Foden being on the left, except for you've stuck a good player on the left. And that's poor. That's no good for Phil Foden, and it's no good for England, and it's not going to work if Phil Foden is playing on the left.
I can't believe it. But do you know what? Oh, sorry, Keir. Sorry, man.
Carry on.
I was going to say, do you know what? I thought that during all the punch after the game was like, everyone seemed to be being very nice about the performance, about the players. But no one, and I know that it's a counter reaction to how bad it went at the last Euros for players getting dug out by far too much from a lot. But you can't go completely the other end and start acting like I was in. Alan Shearer during commentary was just absolutely like almost like I said it during the game, like a sycophant with some of it. So he's been playing magnificently today. Like you can't say that about anyone on this pitch today, mate. I'm sorry. We've got the win and we've done the job, but I don't want to hear about how good a performance it was and this and that.
Do you know what? Just like people were taking the piss, right, about Enya Luko, right, when she said about she wants to see Foden and Bellingham in the 10, and everyone was laughing their head off. Now you can't do that. Obviously, it's very funny, but what we've been talking about there was an element of what she says. I get a little bit of what she says. Right, because what she's saying is that Foden shouldn't be out on that left-hand side. He should be cutting in. He should be coming inside. But then again, what you do, you can't get both in the way of each other because then it's a mess. So there's an element of sort of, even though it's mad, there's an element of what she's saying.
Anyone who doesn't get what she was saying is just picking on her because they don't like her now. She said some silly stuff in her time. He scored
funny stuff.
He scored 15 goals in 30 games. That's basically one goal a game, which is always. So what happens with any is that sometimes
that's funny, isn't it? It's just funny.
But people want to dig her out for obvious reasons. Woman, diverse, all that. You know what I mean?
It's just
what
funny.
she's trying to say was exactly right. What she was trying to say is exactly right. She wants to see Bellingham playing in almost a free role in the 8. With Foden in the 10. Bellingham can do what he wants as long as Declan Rice is protected by whichever one it is at the time. And they're almost both playing a 10. They're not, but you know what I mean? She misspoke a little bit. Yeah, so people are digging her out. I don't know what they're talking like.
Yeah, but the way to do that is to play Bellingham in an 8. Just play him in the 8.
You said it, kid. It was an 8 performance. Yes, it was an 8 performance.
An 8 performance. And I'll go into it why. Everything that everyone is lauding Bellingham about was that of an 8. The tackles, the tenacity that he was playing at, the spraying the balls. Yes, you'll see Gerrard spray a ball in the half volley halfway across the pitch, 50 yards. You see Gerrard do that. Classic 8, a legend of an 8. That is what Bellingham is. The reason why that you've gone to Real Madrid is playing a 10 is because Ancelotti is the manager and he sees a Kaka type player that plays the 10. Very much a Kaka. People that didn't watch Kaka will say, "Oh, Kaka, silky, skillful." Kaka was a monster. It was just because he was Brazilian that you'll say silky, skillful. Yes, he had skills.
All that as well. Andy was a monster.
Yeah, he was, and that's what Bellingham is. So I feel that Ancelotti sees it very much like a Kaka sort player, and that's why he's playing him in that 10 position at Real Madrid. That is not what we need for England. We've got crafty. We've got they've taken an English player and put him in a 10 around a load of Spanish players. We've got a load of English players and we've got a couple of Spanish type players in there. Let's protect them with the English players and put them in the creative positions. Put Phil Foden in that 10 and see what he can do. Don't put him on the left again.
Yeah.
I mean, going to play someone on the left, it's got to be, for me, Gordon's too raw. I don't want to see someone take on someone and put the ball into Rose head. Like, it's too frustrating. Like, his levels needs to raise. I would really like to see an Eze, someone who's very direct, can cut in a bit more and be a bit more different than someone who's going to bomb down the wing, because I think we've got Saka on that. And I don't see Southgate changing his tactics for Saka to be someone who really cuts in too much. I think he wants him going down that wing and doing the crosses in. But I think Eze could sort of really open up some teams, and I wouldn't mind him coming in. But
I put a comment earlier in the group, and I'm going to stick with this. I reckon you won't see like much minutes from Eze or Gordon. It's almost a waste of a plane ticket for him, because if he ain't going to take it Foden off in that game after that performance, then when is he taking Foden off for Eze or Gordon? You know,
I think he's got. I think he's scared. I think he's got long games and got the bottle.
Yeah, I mean, did he take Foden off in the end? He did, didn't he? In the end,
no,
he didn't. He didn't. Yeah.
No,
so
I can't believe he took Saka off. I can't believe he took Saka off.
Sorry, that was it. Yeah. So I've got a bad feeling you're going to see Eze and Gordon get about 12 minutes game time between them in this competition, and it becomes even more. What are you doing here, mate? You know, like, what are you doing? So yeah, crazy.
What about Trent? I mean, it's like I still stick with what I
wouldn't
said.
play him there. I wouldn't play him there.
No, nor would I. But I would still. I think he's like on the ball. He was still very good. I didn't think he was. But in that middle, on his as a midfielder, no, I wouldn't do that. But it's like I did say last week. I do think we could still play him at right back. And do that inverted thing where he can come, because Walker can't do that, and play Walker next to Stones. Guy had a good game, fair dues to him. But when we come up against the better defenders, the better forwards, I think Guy might struggle a little bit, and Trippier. I think we'll struggle completely. But I think playing Trent as that right-sided right back coming in to invert, that gives you that extra strength, to be able to have that Rice and thing, and then you can play Foden and Bellingham in that centre there, but then you've still got the protection, and you're not getting in each other's way. But yeah,
the only thing I say to that is I saw I forget who it was now. Well, it was an ex-international manager, and he's saying you do not have time at these tournaments to start reinventing players. You've got to play them to the best of what they know. None of this, he can play midfield, so I'm going to put him there. Oh, he can do a job here, so you've got to play to their main strengths to get the best out of these players. And I couldn't agree more. I don't think that Trent Alexander-Arnold has got. It's not nous is the only word. He's got a lot of nous. He hasn't got the experience of playing in centre midfield to be an asset in this competition. Not from
the actual starting. Do you know what I mean? Like in the midfield, but he can certainly play. He can certainly play.
100%. Yeah.
He can certainly play. He can certainly play as a fullback and invert like he does for Liverpool, which is what he's known for.
What you're doing by putting Trent in that midfield for me is exactly what I say about Southgate: the pragmatic, the defensive. You're cancelling out an attacking outlet for me, because Trent is not got the cross-field option for him anymore. Like at fullback, you get time. You get a little bit of time before the wingers tracked you, like pushed on you, to look up and see where you want to get that ball out. Centre midfield, you ain't got that extra second to take.
Kimmich done it, but he done it with Bayern Munich for like a season, and then moved into that. Then was in that midfield with Germany, and now he's back. I don't know where he's playing. I think he's back in right back position. No, he's back right back.
I think what Garth said maybe is a good point when he said about like the Rashford and Grealish, because Foden had a poor game, right, and he stayed on the whole 90 minutes. Yeah. Right, because literally you had a look, and he obviously, I don't know, maybe he don't trust Eze, he don't trust Gordon, and
with
he left
1-0. He's not going to trust. He's not going to trust him with 1-0. Gordon bombing down the wing with 2 minutes left, hits on the counter. He's visualising all of these things. Eze cuts in, goes for the pass, jinks past one, gets tackled on the break, 1-0. Like he's all visualised that already.
But if you don't trust these players, you should have took Grealish and Rashford then.
You just took the word.
Sorry, Steve. Sorry, mate. Sorry. Yeah.
No, I just saying, mate. You just took the words right out of my mouth, mate. I'm glad you said it, because like looking at that game, I mean, I said I wouldn't have took him, but during that game, I'm thinking, look, you're not taking Foden off. That we need to keep this ball. We need to get some free kicks, because Serbia just kept coming back and back and back. We needed someone to sort of, hold the ball, and that screamed Jack Grealish. That absolutely screamed him. And
go on,
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, no, but I thought Bowen did well. I did think Bowen did well when he came on. I thought when he
wasn't
come
all
on, he
bad.
did well.
Mark Gay, he had a really good performance.
I thought Gay did well as well. Yeah.
A player who got criticism about even starting. Bellingham was really good. A really good performance from Bellingham. Sorry, to go to Cesc Fabregas's quotes about Foden.
He was awesome. Quickly, awesome as a pundit. Cesc, I want to see more of Cesc on the.
He weren't having it because the English pundits came to the Foden's rescue.
He's a coach. He knows what he's talking about.
I didn't know that. Como, yeah. Sorry,
Como's, and they've been promoted into Serie A again, haven't they? Cesc, do you agree with Cesc that Foden should be imposing himself more on games like Jude Bellingham as well, and it's not just the tactics of the manager?
Yeah. That's when you get difficult. I love because Mika Richards is a Man United absolute fan, and he'll defend. You see it all the time. That's one of his biggest flaws. Mika Richards is he'll defend Man City players, and he was absolutely fighting tooth and nail to act like Foden didn't have a poor game. Foden had a poor game, and I think that's where Cesc is coming from. Listen, you can't absolutely go like Steve said. If Southgate has told him to do that role, you can't turn around. Especially he's a Pep player. He knows what to do as he's told. You know what I mean? You can't turn around and do it, but he does need to. He impose himself more on the game, 100%. Like like some people are thinking, where he just abandons his position on the pitch, moves into
grabs it by the scruff of the neck, Roy the Rover stuff. But you could have done a bit more Foden. Exactly what you said at the start with Kit, a bit more cutting in and getting onto the edge of the box and having 100%, etc. Yeah, so Cesc was entirely right on that.
I think what he meant. I think he probably, Cesc is probably one of these intelligent people, as we know, as a coach. Do you know what I mean? He was an intelligent footballer as well. He probably knows for the fact that if during the game and the game changes a certain way, you need to change your way of thinking. You should be intelligent enough to change your way of thinking. Yeah. So if you've been told by the manager to hold the touch line, get down the line, do this, do that. If there's a point where you're under pressure or you need to get a goal and the manager's on the bench, you kind of go and have a little chat with the manager, have a sit down. You should be able to now make the decision to say, right, I need to do this now. I can't keep holding this.
I agree, and I think it's a case of I didn't cut him off there. I didn't eject him. Sorry, Steve. I'm talking now. Just timing.
Usually goes when we're disagreeing, but he's going when we're agreeing.
I also think it's because Cesc Fabregas plays in the same position. They're similar players. Do you know what I mean? Attacking midfielders, central midfielders. And he's probably thought to himself that if I was playing in that game and I weren't really getting into it, I'm thinking to myself, sod what the tactics are. I'm doing this now. Give me the ball. Top bins. I've had that. Yeah, do you know what I mean? I need to impose myself on this. I need to make a difference. I can't just sit on the side and then hope that what I've done is enough to play the next game. We can't just bob along like that, and I think that's the size of a winner.
Do you think it's something to do?
Sorry, go on, Steve.
Just question to both of you. Do you think that's part of in Foden's psyche? Because when he plays for Man City and under Pep, they don't change, do they? They play to a system, and that's what you do. Do you think he's been told that by Southgate? This is what I've got to do.
I think a little bit of Phil Foden's discipline there with what the manager's saying is because of Pep. Is because if you move out of the position that Pep tells you to move out of,
you're in trouble.
Then you won't be playing the next game. And that's it. That's it. Like, you won't be playing the next game. So I do understand to a certain extent why Phil Foden is listening to those tactics to that degree. Because if you start moving out of position in Pep's teams, it doesn't even matter if you do have a good game. You've gone against what he said, and you won't be playing. Thierry Henry learned that pretty fast. You're going to learn today. Didn't play for the next 3 weeks.
I was going to say a very similar thing, Steve. I think what I'm going to ask you, boys, is this demonstrating that maybe Phil Foden is one of them players that needs to be coached through every minute of the game to get the best out of him? Then players do exist. You know, I mean, Luke Shaw is one of them players where he doesn't have the football IQ, the football brain to take the game by the scruff of the neck, to impose himself like that if he's not getting the constant, this is what I want from you right now. This is what I want from you right now.
Yeah.
Good question. It's a good question.
I think like with a many, I think with City is City, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they just do what they do. But I think any teams that are lesser, you know, you've got to be able. The manager's got to be able to say to your players, look, if this is happening during the game, do this, change this, have that little bit about you where you need to do this, do that. But in Southgate, look, we've watched Southgate for years now with England, and we never do that, do we? There's never a change of pattern. There's never a change of system. It's just the same old all the time. I would love to see something different happen.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but it never does. You can imagine Mikel Arteta or Pep Guardiola or even even Ten Hag. If this is happening during the game, don't think about it. Don't worry about what I've told you. Do this, do that. But I think Southgate has got this way of doing things that he just wants it done. And yeah, I mean, Steve Holland's another one, isn't he? I mean, just a pragmatic coach. Yeah, I think we're in trouble, boys.
Yeah. With the first question on Phil Foden, I think there could be an element of that. It's quite interesting if you go back to even, maybe I'm digging too deep, maybe go back to when he was kind of nearly released as a player. He's not a universally liked player. Like, he doesn't fit in tick every box for every manager. You know what I mean? Some players do because they've got the height, they've got the pace, and they could do that on the pitch. Phil Foden may not have ticked every box because of his height, because of his size and things like that. But yeah, I don't know. I can't really say really, because it's Southgate in charge. Like,
it's one performance,
it's one bad performance, and it's Southgate in charge. And I don't really want to dig Phil Foden out. I want to see him play in the next game because he's such a good player. We've got such a good squad there. Going forward.
Sorry, another question I was going to ask you, boys, and this is going to, with your Arsenal hats on, with the squad that we've got, do you sacrifice Saka and play the 4-2-2, like 4-2-3-1 with the 3 AM centres through the middle who drift out wide? Now that would absolutely, Saka can't do that job, obviously, and he's one of our best players. But when you look at our squad with the Ezes and the Fodens and the Bellinghams in there, do you start looking down? I mean, Saka never would, obviously, but do you start looking down that road instead if he wants to play this pragmatic defensive style of football?
See, I don't, because I feel like, I've said it before, I'll say it again, Bellingham's an 8. Like, so I just feel like we're pushing a player into a position because, again, you're looking at what he can do defensively, and you'd rather that. It's the same reason we had Mount in a 10 in the start of the Euros previously. And it's the same reason why we've got Bellingham in the 10 now, because he's an 8, because that Mount's an 8, and he can play in that 10. He can do the 10. Like, because he can track back, he can defend. The performance that he put in was an 8 performance yesterday or the other day. And yeah, no, I'm not sacrificing Saka. Arsenal hat or not.
I wouldn't either.
Saka,
I
thought
wouldn't
Saka was really good the other day, and that's why I'm so disappointed, because look, Saka, when he has those games where he will put the stats on, but he's not really that great because he's just really out of it. But he's got quality, he can put in that delivery which will create a goal or even score a goal, but it might not be in the game. He was in the game the other day and he weren't utilised. That's criminal. Yeah. That is absolutely criminal. When Saka's on form, you have to get him shooting. You have to get him taking on a man, and you have to get him cutting in and looking for the 1-2s and around the box. Didn't see it once. Did not see him cut in and try and shoot once. Didn't see him try and do the 1-2s around the box. You've taken away 2/3 of his game. Now you've just got a pacey winger. You can have anyone do that. So it's disappointing. It's not poor. I don't want to say it's poor. It was disappointing and underwhelming. At the end of the day, England won 1-0. England got a clean sheet. We got a result, and that is really all that matters. If we win it or we get to the semi-finals or whatever, no one's looking back at the Serbia game and going, "Oh, it was just a pragmatic performance." we got the result. That's it.
I think we like Trent Arnold and Phil Foden. I mean, we know they're good players. We know they're special players. Yeah, we know they're getting most teams in the world. But Southgate makes them look like League Two players. And it's not their
trend. I think,
it's not their fault.
As Garth was saying earlier, it's this ain't the tournament to be trying Trent in midfield. we've got midfielders that are better than Trent. Like, I'd rather Kobe. Now I've seen it. I'd rather Kobe Mainoo play in instead of Trent because he's more of a midfielder. He's got more pace. He's more direct. He's more dynamic.
Yeah.
Trent is just excellent on the ball, and anyone could. Like, we talk about professional footballers in the European Championships that play in Champions League football. Everyone's good on the ball. They're professional footballers. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give anyone time on the ball, and they can put the ball on a sixpence. Trent has that on the right, and that's not taken away from him. This is not a dig at Trent. Trent has more time on the ball on the right, which is why he can do that. Putting him in the middle, he doesn't have as much time in that midfield, and he can't spray them ball. He's not Pirlo. He's not Cruz. We ain't going to see a Trent with those names in the conversation ever in a midfield capacity.
Yeah.
So let's move on from that.
It just feels to me he's never going to give us what we want, is he? Is he, Southgate? You know, for as long as whatever we want to see, for some reason he does not want to see Rice, Bellingham, and Foden, does he? Yeah. He just for some reason he doesn't want to see it. Yeah, you know, it's been called out before the tournament by most people. We all seem to think that's his best position. But for some reason he done. It'd be different if it's easy to look. If he's going to do that, just make the movement better. Just get Foden in the middle of more. Let's get Bellingham coming out wide when Foden moves in. Let's just see some kind of. Do you know what I mean? I mean, when Bowen come on, do you know what I mean? I wish he was a left-sided player because he looked really. He come in. He looked dangerous. He looked direct. He was getting back. He was getting forward. He got that cross ball in for Kane.
Bowen's an honest player. That's what you're going to get with Bowen. You're going to get at Bowen. He'll work for you, and he'll get up and down that pitch. I got a lot of time for Bowen, and I think that's why he's going to trust. He's going to trust Bowen more than he would trust a Gordon, because Gordon defensively isn't as good as
defensively.
Bowen.
It's defensive. And this is what I'm saying. I'm not digging Bowen out. What I meant was when they brought him on, that was the most defensive attacking option. Excuse the oxymoron. The most defensive attacking option that he had. I rate Bowen as well, but Bowen's good, but that's as far as it goes. But he's not anything special. Jared Bowen, he got a nice crossing on that game, which Harry Kane probably should have buried in the onion bag. But Jared Bowen's not a game changer. He's just not. He's a good, honest player, and he can do bits and pieces here and there. You know what I mean? So,
I don't think he's a 90-minute, but he's certainly someone who could come on 20 minutes to go and do something. Do you know what I mean? I think he's got that. I think he's got that about him. I thought he was very good in the two friendlies. I thought he was excellent. I think
and that's because I think it's the enthusiasm and of wanting to do well for England. I do agree with Garth. When it matters, if I'm bringing on Bowen, then it's last chance saloon, really, isn't it? Like if we're honest, but if you've got a Kane, a Saka, a Bellingham, they're game changers. If you was to bring them on, if you were to bring them on, you're like, well, we could do something here. If you're bringing on Bowen, you're like, maybe you could do. If he gets a 1-on-1, will he score? If them other three gets a 1-on-1, you're like, they're banging this. So I get it. I do get it.
In rugby, you have players that come in the last 10 minutes to see out a game, and that is what he is. And
definitely.
He's a good player, Steve. I mean, he's a good player, but he's just not. I was again, it's so sad. I was so like, of all the players, Bowen, like I rate him, I do, but that's not what I want to see when we've got to close out a game. Like I know that, like when we got 20 minutes to go for 25. Like I want to see.
You're hoping he'll another goal or something.
Yeah, it was.
You don't think that? You don't think he's capable of coming on? I think he showed it. I think he showed it against Serbia.
He had one cross, Steve. He had one cross, man. You're saying he played well. We lost to Do No one played well in that game.
Do you know what I think it was? He was very good in the two friendlies, right? He sort of nailed down his place for the England squad from those two friendlies. I think I said it. He was excellent. He played really well. And I think what he does, like you said, he's not a 90-minute. He wasn't starting. I mean, he's got Saka in front of him. He's not going to get in front of Saka. He's a right-sided, player, and he's behind Saka by a long way. I wish we had someone similar to Bowen doing that on the left-hand side. for the whole 90 minutes. You know, worrying defenders, worrying the right back. Look at today. Did you see like Doku? You know, the way he runs. You see the way the 16-year-old kid was running at defenders. You know, did you see the way Musiala and Vert, they were running at defenders? They hate people running.
You're now naming. You're comparing Jared Bowen to Musiala and Florian Wirtz stuff.
No, I'm not.
You're talking about the best of the best here, mate.
No, I'm on about.
Belgium lost 1-0.
Like, no, I'm on about that type. Not comparing. I'm on about like the type of player that I would love to have on that left hand side running at defender.
Not that for me. Bowen's not that for me.
But I don't think if we had a Wirtz, I think Southgate still brings on Bowen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not thinking Bowen.
Because Wirtz is more of an attacking threat, an attacking player than Bowen is. I think he's brought on Bowen because he knows that Bowen will track back and run his arse off to play in the next game or potentially get a star or whatever.
I think
bringing on an Eze. He's not bringing on a Gordon because it's not. He doesn't think. It's not. Yeah, it's not. He doesn't think that Bowen could come on and score. He knows that Bowen will track back. Yeah, he knows that Bowen won't try and take on an extra man because he's going for glory. Whereas Eze potentially will. I don't know, Gordon will 100% will want to come on and be a hero. 100%. Because that's the type of Gordon player.
Yeah, I'm talking about on that right hand side. There's nobody who can do that type. Like out of the 26 people we've got, if Saka goes off, you've got to bring a right hand sided on to replace him. Someone who with pace, who's direct. I watch Bowen a lot. I have to watch Bowen a lot. Do you know what I mean? Because my old family's West Ham supporters. I have to watch him nearly every week. And he's dangerous. He's fast. He's quick. He's pacey. He scores goals. He does. Believe me, he does.
No, I'm not denying that. That's what I said. I said Bowen could come on and score a goal. The difference is he's brought him on because he will track back. Whereas the other two, maybe not. Whereas Bowen, you're going to get more of a shift out of Bowen than you are getting back with Eze and Gordon. Do
Eze and Gordon play on the right then?
Across the front. He can't play across the front.
Yeah, but it's left. They're left.
Bowen's primarily right. Primarily right for West Ham.
If you're going to bring on anyone that's going to make, you're trying to be a game changer difference, I'm bringing on Cole Palmer over Bowen.
Yeah.
But again, if I'm 1-0 up against Serbia, I'm not bringing on Cole Palmer. I'm not. With 10 minutes to go, I'm bringing on a Bowen. If Saka's legs are gone, I'm bringing on a Bowen because, yes, he may be able to score, but he's going to track back. And that's the more important thing with 10 minutes to go. It's just about getting the result now.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to go
2-0 earlier on.
Yeah, I'm not dividing Brian's ability. He's a good player, like we both said at the start. What I'm saying is that's a typical Southgate decision.
100%, because that's why he never brought the other side, was it?
Yeah,
the other side on the left
player.
Yeah, it's just what I wanted to see. I didn't want to sit on this 1-0 where
he needs to make them
dangerous.
100%. He needs to make that. He needs to make these changes earlier. Take off Foden on the 50th, 60th minute. Give someone half hour on that left. So if you do happen to go 1-0, you've got plenty of time to get it back. Now, if you're bringing on someone with 15, 20 minutes to go, that's to see out a game. It's to see out a game.
Yeah. If you're 1-0 up again, if you're like got a draw against France and Saka's knackered, then I get the Bowen thing.
Yeah, he's bringing on Bowen. In fact, he might be bringing on a right back.
That's what I was about to say. Knowing him,
if we're honest,
okay, he'll go back and 5 at the back. Yeah, we will centre back.
Trent comes on, and Walker's playing down the right back. Yeah,
it's not like even Foden's great at defending, is it? It's not like one of these fantastic abilities.
No, but this Southgate's problem. This is exactly what I'm saying. Because he didn't take off Foden, he wanted to bring on a defensive-minded player. So he couldn't, it was either take Foden off and bring on Eze or Gordon, who are not that at all, or take off Saka, who's playing better and is more likely to get you a goal than Bowen, but brought Jared Bowen because of that defensive work rate of him. He's a good player, Steve, honestly. But what I mean is, I never want to see England sitting, on a 1-0 win. I don't want to see it. You can't
that makes
win tournaments
sense.
like that.
No.
You can't win tournaments by sitting on a 1-0 win. We are not Italy,
and especially in the group stages, man.
See, that makes 100%. That makes 100%. Like what he should have done was kept Saka on, and then you wouldn't have had to have brought Bowen on. Yeah, because it's either Bowen or, isn't it? Bowen or Carl Palmer.
On that right. Yeah.
That's your option.
We could all see Foden weren't working. You know what I mean?
I was shocked. I was shocked that he didn't come off.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. We've spent like 45 minutes on England. Let's quickly pass through this.
It's only the first game.
Start off by game. It's about a 40-minute show. Yeah. Don't worry, you'll be in the second. We have to catch a second half.
I put that on the hour mark, bro. I was like, 40 minutes went out the window, didn't it?
Yeah. The plan that England need a technical passer that can get forward in tight areas, that gets the ball to the front three early. They don't have. I think Maino is the closest thing.
Foden could do that if he was in the middle.
This is also where we're a bit unlucky that Mason Mount's out as well, because he would have been that play. Again, Southgate loves defensive wise, but also can.
He would have 100% played Mason Mount.
Yeah. Oh,
100% played Mason Mount.
Yeah. Do you know 100. What? Now I know why he played Mason Mount in the last competition.
Yeah.
It's just
exactly what it is. Because
Mason Mount is not better than these players we're talking about, but
because he's an honest player who will do as the manager says, will work hard and will defend from the front. Can he score a goal? Yes. Can he get an assist? Yes. In fact, he did it really well for Chelsea in the season that he was made put up front for England. So when he done it, I was like, oh, this could work. When I watched it, I was like, oh, this is dull.
So boring.
This is so boring. And this is why when we see this game the other day, we was like, deja vu.
Yeah. Exactly. And the thing is, this is okay if okay, we'll be bored. Okay, we'll win 1-0. We might draw the next one and win the third one. Yeah, and we go through.
England.
So the same old shit.
Wait for the final game. We had to do it.
Isn't it? It's just how it goes. Win one, draw one.
England.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, and then we win one, and we'll go through, and then we think, can he change it up in the knockouts? No, it's the same old thing. We'll play someone a little bit level. We might sneak through, then we come up against one in the top 6 and get beaten and knocked out.
Well, he did. We did, didn't he? He changed it in the group stage. We brought in Jack Grealish. We done really well, smashed the team. Then we got to the knockout stage. He changed it back. It was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And they didn't bring on Jack Grealish for like the rest of the tournament for like the last 10 minutes against Italy or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but yeah, I think everyone was fuming about the lackage of Grealish. Quickly, just before we move on to the transfers, Romania shock 3-0 victory against Ukraine. And the game was really good. Romania were really good. I think that, if I'm honest, that is probably going to put them through. Sounds crazy this early, but
it will,
3 points. I don't see Ukraine coming back from that. They were shell shocked after that, some of their best players were not looking on form. Unsurprising with the lack of football that half their team has had, but I think the adrenaline rush has gone and the reality is hit. I don't think we're going to see much from Ukraine in the rest of this tournament. And Belgium, another shock. Belgium 1-0 loss today. 2 disallowed goals. The second one, did anyone see it?
No, I haven't seen the Belgian game yet. Sort of.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Was it bad?
What was your thoughts on the handball, Steve? Do you know they brought out like sonar technology that Echo the dolphin could probably just about like what was that? What was that? Shit. We heard the sound. If you see that line, that's when the ball hit his finger. Get out of it. Get out of it.
I listened to that American analysis. I mean, it's nothing to do with, do you know what I mean? Being feminist and all this lark, and it's a woman. No, she's getting on my nerves. Do you know what I mean? Man or woman, that is really getting on my nerves.
Getting on my nerves. It's too robotic. There's no. Look, I get it. You're trying to be by the book, but even when the other referees talk, there's got to be that bit of, I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Just going to, like, rubbish. It is absolute rubbish, I'm sorry. Because the way she was explaining it as well at the time, I'm like, but that's not what's happened there. Like, you're saying it's changed the trajectory of the ball and it's helping them assist it. I'm like, but if the two players are wrestling with each other with the ball and you're saying it's clipped his finger. And I'm like, that's a bit harsh.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel like this is coming from people that don't play the game. And literally 2 seconds later, Jody Nescott goes, these decisions are coming from people that didn't play the game.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it
What
was.
made me laugh? What made me laugh? She said, "Oh, whoever it was in the studio asked this American woman to, or no, what it was. She explained it as the commentator. She explained what they were saying. Like, so what's handball? And she said, "Oh, it's handball." She said, "But it, was it deliberate?" And she actually said, although it was accidental and it wasn't deliberate, it's still looked upon as handball, even if though it wasn't meant.
Did it stop a goal scoring opportunity? No, did it stop a goal? It did stop goal scoring opportunity?
No.
Well, then accidental handball is accidental handball. Because I understand, like, if it stops a goal scoring opportunity and it's accidental handball, then that should be given as a free kick. But if it's just because I haven't seen it, obviously, so I don't know. But handball, all these rules, they've got to streamline them. Like I keep saying, you've got to make it easier for the officials to just make a decision. You know what I mean? Like, we all know what ball to hand is. We all know what accidental handball is. And if it isn't stopping a blatant goal, then it should never be given.
The referee never give it. The referee never give it.
Yeah. Do you think
VAR got in his ear and told him as well?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that ball changes any direction if he doesn't touch it with his hand?
No, mate. It wasn't deliberate for a start. It wasn't deliberate.
The fact that you've had to get out the sound technology to see at the pinpoint when it hit his fingernail, to say that it did touch the ball, because you don't even see the trajectory of the ball really change.
It wasn't even looking at it. It
doesn't change the direction of the ball at all, and it still goes within his path. For me, it's silly again. We're going back to the offside rule where they're looking to change it because it's ridiculous. Because it's his toenail was offside. Or his shoulder blade was offside.
Was this a VAR ref getting a bit itchy to show off the new technology?
I don't know, mate.
I've seen that before. Yeah, they did that with the VAR. They were desperate to show off the lines, and this is how it works. And and like the PGMO, whatever it is, they said that is like.
People have not seen the same thing before either. Actually, that makes a good point.
Yeah, like they want to show off, but look, here's the new technology. Like, we can hear the ball touching it, because the referees do it as well, don't they? They want to show off the new rules immediately so you can see what it's about. So, like I say, the rules have to be
after this, you should you go and have a look at the decision.
I definitely will. Yeah, I'm going to, mate. It sounds outrageous. It sounds outrageous.
It wasn't handball. It should have been a goal. I mean,
it should have been a goal.
It was poor.
Yeah, it's poor. It's too much. Now onto the transfers quickly, Steve. We've seen Tottenham have had a bid rejected for Ivan Toney. A deal you still think could potentially get done by the end of the summer, though?
Yeah, I mean, Tottenham have, been sort of interested in, Ivan Toney for quite a while now, ever since he changed his agency over to CAA base, which I think I mentioned last week. I don't think there's one Tottenham player that ain't under that. So, give us a good indication that Tottenham could be one of the teams that he would go to. They're very interested. They got sort of word that they was going to put in a bid for 40 million last week, or that's what they valued him at. I got told last night that they had put a bid in, but it was literally thrown out the door before it hit the lanes, if you like. So I feel they will go back in. I'm told that he's one of their main targets that they're looking at this summer. They need to bring in a centre forward. They haven't got one. And also they want to revamp that whole front line. So they want to pay as less as they can. But apparently they're looking for 65 million. But I think in January they would have took 55. So I'm assuming they would get it done for that.
His contract's up at the end of the next year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tony. Yeah. So I think 40 mil is a very respectable price.
Fair.
I think that's fair. I really do. Maybe 45. I know Brentford want to bleed as much as they can out of the only real asset they've got.
Which is why they're in this situation now, because they threw out 100 mil to scare people off.
Yeah, it's the only real asset they've got. But with 1 year left on his contract, that should be a definite, 40, maybe with some add-ons, we'll take that now. But if you want that money, that is...
Yeah, definitely. I'm just glad Arsenal didn't get him, to be honest with you. He's definitely not.
He's not an Arsenal type player. The circus around Michael Elise continues. Chelsea willing to offer 2 players for for the services of Michael Elise, Trevor Chalobah, and Borgia potentially being one of them, or two of them.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment they're trying to get personal terms done with him yet. I mean, he still hasn't agreed personal terms with them, which I do sort of take that as a piece of sauce. I mean, what piece of salt?
Piece of sauce.
Piece of sauce.
A bit of time for something, is it?
You've been hanging around Carlo too much, mate.
Yeah. Too much Peroni. But yeah, he's which I find a bit weird because what he's on at Crystal Palace, I find it very hard for him not to agree personal terms with Chelsea.
Because he knows he can bleed Chelsea dry because he doesn't got his first choice.
Yeah.
Is Chelsea the right option for him?
I mean, there's
I mean,
when you hear personal terms, I mean, a lot of people out there, everyone gets excited, but personal terms isn't that a big thing. I mean, a player can agree personal terms with a number of different clubs, before they sign for the one they want to. So, but it's and that hasn't got to that point yet. But Chalobah and Broja, I can't see Crystal Palace going with that, to be honest with you.
No fee, just them two players.
No, well, yeah. This is it. I'm not too sure. What is it? What are they saying? Is it?
It'd be money past those two players.
If it's just them two players, I'd laugh them out of the building.
I mean, Crystal Palace are better off. Crystal Palace can get money if they don't get the full money off of Chelsea that they want, which I believe is around about 60 million. They'll get it off someone else. And I know Crystal Palace are also very interested in Reece Nelson and Eddie Nketiah. So yeah, Crystal Palace stick with Arsenal and stick with. I'd rather, if I was Crystal Palace, I'd stick with those two rather than Chalobah. And I think their need will be greater, considering that they could lose Eze and Elise by the end of the window.
I think you've got to look into the fact that Chelsea are trying to offer two players as well. Because I know that there's talk about the FFP thing, and they've found a way in a loophole. They're buying hotels.
Another hotel.
They're not silly. They're watching the current climate in the moment, and they can't really risk. They can't really risk playing games.
They've already paid a fine this year for FFP.
Yeah, so they can't really risk playing games and messing around with FFP again, because you'll end up getting relegated and points deducted. So I think they're trying to test the arm by offering players and reducing the amount that they're going to be spending on transfer fees as well. So I think you've got to look into that. Chelsea have probably got money, but I don't think they've got the money that people were expecting. And I think you see that with the likes of Osman names not popping up anymore. Elise with swap players. So start looking into those transfers and what the structure of those ones as well. And it'll tell you a little bit more about what's going on. Another player that's being linked, one with your club, Garth. Omar Saleh. Omar Saleh being linked with Manchester United for between 10 and 13 mil.
Sounds like the type of price, yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you look him up and take a look, Garth. You can give us a little bit of a player profile next week, mate. We get excited about some of these bargain signings. What's your thoughts on the summer, Garth? You excited about the prospect of getting in some? Oh, clearly not by that face. By some untapped gems or the bargain bucket. No, there's zero excitement.
Man United need to sell big time. I mean, the rumours, as I said before, the rumours bowling about is 40 mil, 60 mil. I mean, come on, we're going to be looking at the free market. I'm seriously like in my group, people going.
You'll have more than that though after sales.
People are going mad at the players I'm talking about. Gertzka for 30 mil. People like Steve saw it. People are acting like he's dead, can't play ball no more. I'm talking about Ndidi. I'm talking about Ndidi on a free. I'm talking about Rabiot on a free. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they're not superstars. They're not creme de la creme players, but Man United ain't shopping at that market at the moment. You boys are shopping at Waitrose and Marks and Spencer's. Man's at man's at Quick Save. Like, if you're all going to remember Quick Save, or Lotto. Man's at Lotto. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not shopping on the same aisles as you. You're getting that tasty bread. We're getting crackers, and there ain't no saltines in that either. And we're getting nothing, bro. So,
Yeah, man. We're buying the quality slippers in Marks as we are.
Yeah, you know, mate,
The moccasins. The moccasins, the suede ones.
Moccasins, jeez.
The suede
We ain't got clothes at our shop, mate. And if we have, they've been made by some poor Vietnamese children in an absolute slave shop.
George from Asda's.
No, we ain't getting jokes, mate. We ain't showing Asda's. Asda's is above us at the moment.
Pot to piss in.
I tell you what. Just on the. Did anybody see Amadou Onana today? I mean, a lot of big clubs. Arsenal, one of them.
I like him.
Saw him a little bit.
Yeah.
Not as composed as what I think. Arsenal need in that middle.
No, definitely not.
No, it's not. Yeah, he's.
He ain't it. I don't think.
No, he's not. I think you get it. I think it's another Twitter transfer, isn't it? You see these Twitter transfers, which is like just who's the most exciting player that they like on Twitter? Jed Spence. We're going to bring that one up again. Sorry. Jed Spence. Where is he now? This is no shade on Jed Spence because Jed Spence, there's the levels.
Yeah, Garth, there might be one for you there. Jed Spence. Where's he these days?
We ain't no desperate yet, mate.
Garth was very quick to dismiss Jed Spence when I was like, have you seen that? You had this Jed Spence everyone's talking about.
I went no. In all fairness, I might be more than Brennan Johnson at the same time, and at least Brennan Johnson seems to have done a little bit more. So, but
not much.
I mean,
he's done a little bit more.
I think he was very right about Brennan Johnson. I think he was probably right to be.
But he's done a little bit more. So,
Bruno Garamesh, a player that Manchester City could be potentially looking at. Steve, any more information on that one?
No, a player that's I say no. I mean, a player that's wanted. Arsenal like him, Man City like him, but at the moment it's very quiet on him. No clubs are paying the release clause for him, which I think is in. I think the release clause lasts until the end of this month. I don't think after that you'll start clubs maybe possibly, negotiating him, putting in bids for like maybe 50, 60 million for him. Other than that, I think he will stay at Newcastle. But yeah, I don't know what you guys think of him. Someone I'm not sure about whether he's like an Arsenal quality, and not sure if he's a Man City quality either, to be honest with you. But just a personal opinion, but not much. I mean, at the moment, I don't think no one's going to pay the fee, the asking price, what people are asking.
What, 60? Is that what did you just say? I think that's reasonable for Bruno, isn't it?
It's not 60, is it?
No.
Oh, sorry. Did you say 60? Sorry, lads.
Yeah, no, I think that his release clause that finishes at the end of this month. His release clause just lasts for a month, from beginning of June to the end of June, and that release clause is for 100 million.
Sorry, lads. Yeah, absolutely not.
So,
and I do think it'd work at Arsenal as well, especially if you're losing Partey. Not the same player, but if you're losing a centre midfielder this summer, I think that could be a good sign for you. About 100 mil, absolutely not.
I think he's the quality. I'm not sure if he's the player. I think
his personality. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I think it's more that. If you're looking at the players at Arsenal, we haven't got that in our team anymore. Is it one of them players who's in your team and you like it? Maybe it is.
I
see a lot of bite from Bruno Garamesh, which I'm not sure fits in with what we are doing.
Pep don't get many wrong. That's all I say.
No.
So if Man City are going for him, he don't get many wrong. Pep.
Yeah, he don't.
But I think like a lot of people are looking at 100 million and think, do you 100 million?
Crazy.
But I think if you're going to pick him up for 50, 55,
that's different.
Then maybe he's worth a shot.
I'll take Bruno Garamesh for 55, 60
that's
why I said that when I thought it was 60, I was like, that's all right. 100
yeah.
No,
I just think that what worries me more than anything, I think he's a decent player, but I just his profile don't fit Arsenal as far as from an Arsenal basis and again City very similar. It's very similar to this Paqueta of West Ham. I know he's it's true the links with Man City are there. But for me, I wouldn't want him for another reason because of his personality. He's rash. I've watched him quite a lot again, West Ham. So I've had to watch a lot of
Do
West
we know
Ham.
if he was being
To me,
rash or whether he was trying to earn a little bit more wonga?
I was going to say, I won't worry about Paquette. Never
I don't
again. Literally, lifetime
That's-
ban's coming this way. Yeah,
Yeah,
lifetime ban.
That's a question that you probably have to ask. But
he
it's
looks
probably
like
too late
someone.
now.
If when he's all right, he's very good on the ball, and he'll do something special. But when the sort of you need him to keep a calm head, he just Gurumesh and Paqueta for me seems to be a little bit wayward. But that's not meaning to say that Arteta or Pep or someone else couldn't calm him down and make him a different type of player.
Yeah, I suppose that's the measurement of a manager as well. And the final one, a former Real Madrid, and now with Girona, Miguel Gurrientes.
Yeah, who's he going to? I like this player.
Linked with Arsenal.
No.
But Real Madrid do have an 8 million buyback option, and we've seen them take that with Morata when he went to, was it Juventus? And then Real Madrid bought him back for 14 million, and then immediately went on to try and sell him for 40, and everyone was like, nah, actually you can keep him. Steve, any more on this story?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be good to hear Garth's, sort of profile on the player, because I don't know nothing about the player. One thing I do know is that Arsenal have had scouts watching him now for a while. That's 100% bang on. Big source of mine has told me that. They've been watching him. Arsenal are looking for that profile left back, someone who can get forward and defend, someone young. And this guy, when I heard that they was actually scouting him, I thought, wow, this guy fits all those sort of ticks all those boxes. And yeah, it'd be an interesting one to keep an eye on, because Arsenal are looking for a left back. Whether it be one that starts or someone young to sort of like eventually come into the side. I don't know, but yeah, be interesting to hear what Garth says about him.
I like Zinchenko. Walked straight in over him, mate. Gutierrez has been Girondin's best player for a couple of years. 22 years old. 8 mil. Is that what you'd have to pay for him?
No, it's Real Madrid have got a buyback.
Real Madrid,
right. But like I heard 30 mil was what he would go for, and 30 mil.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
You have Timber on the right.
Got release clause.
Yeah, you have Timber on the right, Gutierrez on the left, mate. You're going to be cooking with gas, mate.
So what sort of a player is he, Garth?
What's the best way to explain it? Like, I hate comparing him to other players, if you know what I mean. But he's composed, really composed. Got a great pass on him. Like, you know the sort of player I like here, like the sort of player you like, Steve, as well. Like, steady Eddie sounds bad. It's not as a left back. He's just good. Everything he does is good. So he's got a great pass on him. He's got good vision on him. He's not the most rapid player of his time, but he's got a bit of speed on him. Like you know what I mean? He's got great vision on him. He's 22, so whether he adapt to the Premiership straight away, I don't know. So saying he'd walking over Zinchenko is a bit disrespectful, to be fair. But I want him at Man United really badly. So I want Timber at Man United really badly. I'll be devastated if you have him as well, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, he'll improve your team no end, I think. It's a much more traditional left back than what you've got. He's a much more likes to get in on the inverted role quite a bit, but can still bomb down the line. He's a great player. He really is. Like, you'll both be very impressed with him when you watch some highlights of him, man, honestly. And would really, at 30 mil, we're talking a bargain player for you boys there. Bargain player.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Sounds good.
We'll have Garth giving us some player profiles and some of the players that we've spoken about tonight. If you do want to know a bit more about them, then make sure you get us in the comment section as well and let us know in the comment section here. We've gone over by quite a bit. 45-minute show has turned into an hour and 40 minutes.
when you said it at the beginning,
more to go off our chest than we thought. All right, it's been the longest show of the year.
Just what I feel good years I've just read there. Apparently, Mourinho tried to sign him as a 16-year-old from Real Madrid when he was at Man United, so we missed out on one.
When I just clicked on his name on YouTube, it was him in a Man United shirt saying "Welcome to Man United."
Yeah, there you go.
You never know; they might still be in for him. I'll see what I can find out.
Yeah, if I would say no, mate, he's going to be a hot prospect. He's going to at 30 mil, hot prospect around Europe, definitely, especially as he plays for.
You would have thought, like listening to what Garth said, you would have thought for 8 million, Real Madrid would just say, "Yeah, come, we'll have you back."
They definitely will. Quickly,
before we do go, Cheated Obi Martin, Steve. Arsenal are confident that he's going to stay. Still interest from Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich, but Arsenal are hopeful that he's going to stay. And if you watch there's an interview on Cheated Obi Martin that came out about a month ago. He seems very level-headed, very sort of aware that he's not ready for the first team and that he needs more time in the under-21s, and he's liking his trajectory at the moment, and the fact that he's training with the first team. And so the rumours about Bayern Munich kind of came out of nowhere. Obviously, the family members or the representatives are going to be open to listening to offers because it'd be silly not to. But is it likely that he's going to be at Arsenal next summer?
I think so. I mean, Arteta's done a lot of work, talking to him. They've put the plan for the future. What type of things that they want to do with him. How they want to develop him. And so you would have thought, and Arteta personally has spoken to him. So you would have thought if anybody would be able to convince him to stay at a club like Arsenal, we were sort of certainly moving in the right direction. You would have thought that it wouldn't be a problem. But I think I don't know if you've given the article a read. If not, why haven't you? But
that's why I'm so well versed on it.
but his family, who he's sort of, I was going to say, he's quite close to. They want him to. They want him to go back to Germany and sort of develop his trade there. Basically, because a lot of the Scandinavian footballers, I mean, he's Danish for those who don't know, the kid. They recognise the Bundesliga as somewhere where a lot of their players go and grow and develop their career, and this is where his family want, Obi Martin to go to, which is hence why Bayern Munich are interested, and hence why Dortmund are interested in him. So look, we have to wait and see what happens, but hopefully Arteta has done enough to convince him to stay. But I get that, the Scandinavian thing,
everything you've just said screams to me that he's going to Germany. I won't lie.
I do get it. There's you can run some players off. I'd look online and look at the German players who've got, and it was Danish, and it was bundles of them. Do you know what I mean? And it was like I mean, Haaland's the one that stands out, isn't it? Amongst others.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at over the last 10 years, and you look at the players that have gone to Germany to ply their trade and how well they've done and come out of it. So yeah, look, it's a lot of hope there. There's a lot of hope, but look, hopefully he's at Arsenal next season. All right, thank you for everyone who's joined us tonight. Thank you for joining us tonight, Garth.
Pleasure as always, lads. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us tonight, Steve.
Cheers, mate. Pleasure as always.
All right. Make sure you join us every Monday and Tuesday at 8 o'clock for the Transfer Exchange show and the Arsenal show. When are England playing next?
Thursday.
They are playing on
Thursday.
5 o'clock.
Make sure you catch us. Am I going to be in for that one? I'll have to let you know.
We'll let you know. We'll keep you on the tenterhooks.
Yeah. I've got to pay the bills, I'm just trying to think what time I can get back. But yeah, we'll keep you posted. Right now, Mbappe's gone down with a busted nose. I don't know what has happened there. Let's have a quick look.
He went to begin with. He took a hand in the face, and then he just took a headbutt to the face, like clash of heads to the face as well, jumping up for a ball. So yeah, been through the wars in the last 2 minutes as Mbappe.
That's what you get. Make sure you join us at 8 o'clock for the Arsenal show and the Transfer Exchange show on Monday. Peace out, people. Stay safe and wash your hands.